And we're live. Welcome, Mike Ellis, yet again. Bryson didn't want to join because he's bougie and he only opens his wine bottles like a fancy ass. So I'm here with Caitlin. It's the box wine extravaganza. Uh, People are waiting already, which is glorious because that just either means people love box wine or people are drunks. So I think it's a mixture.
Or they don't want to drink box wine and they're sacrificing us to the box wine gods. We're like, they're gonna let these two fools just drink all of the box wine first to see if it's okay. And we're gonna eat a bunch of snacks to let you know like what you should actually. I mean, the holidays are coming up. You could put this wonderful stuff on your next charcuterie board. We're gonna tell you what's good and what's not. So
Fair. And the best thing about tonight is that we're doing it for Forgotten Harvest.
yes.
So by all means, donate.
So really quick, I always like to get this in just first. Forgotten Harvest is an amazing charity in the Metro Detroit area. They donate 138,000 pounds of surplus food 5 days a week to the Metro Detroit area. I personally am going to match up to $500. Up to $500. If you want to smack your own box or bag, I will donate maybe a little bit more. But $500 to Forgotten Harvest, and my work actually matches 25% of my donations. So there's like a huge match that goes on there, and we have a good chance to raise some money for some people who can't, do what we're doing here, which is tasting a whole bunch of delicious food. So.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's a wonderful cause. And I generally say different kind of causes, but this is the one unicorn chef, excuse me, that I think it's more worthwhile to, especially this time of year. Thanksgiving's coming up,
The one reason I like to do Forgotten Harvest is that particularly around Christmas and Thanksgiving, I cook like huge meals and buy all the food. And my problem at Thanksgiving and Christmas is I actually have too much food to fit in my fridge.
Fair.
And that last year I looked at it and I was like, this is such a good fucking problem to have. This is the best problem I'll ever have in my entire life. And there's people who don't have that problem. And if you have the money where like literally your fridge is too full, I think you should give money to other people to make sure that they can fill their fridge as well. So
agreed.
Yeah.
Totally agreed. So give, or literally Kaylin's going to come out and force you to drink box wine every day of your life.
I'm 5 foot tall. I'm just going to sneak up behind you like here. So yes.
You're good. So we're kicking it off with the Merlot. Yes. Do we want to go through our plating and our charcuterie and all that kind of fun stuff?
I say let's let it ride and let's kind of start with the wine because we're gonna be here for the next hour. We're gonna taste as we go, and I'm excited. So
I've got.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got the black box Merlot.
As do I.
All right, fancy. What are we drinking out of?
I am drinking out of a wonderful Rydell stemware, which is a wonderful gift from a suitor. He purchased me a whole wonderful set of expensive wine tasting glasses years ago. What about you? What kind of stemware are you using for your wine?
I believe that fanciness comes from your heart, and you feel better when you drink better. So I'm drinking from a wine red solo cup. Honestly, the bouquet out of plastic, it's good.
So let me see what we're supposed to be smelling.
Okay.
Brimming with red berry, fruit, soft tannins, and a smooth, concentrated finish. Hello. Stays fresh 6 weeks after opening.
Who can keep a box of wine for 6 weeks?
I was going to say, not fucking me. So I'm at my brother's house with him and his wife, actually, because I was like, I'm going to have 3 boxes of wine. I want to share the wealth with my friends. And I'm like, can I? And my brother has this fancy microphone. I'm like, can I come over and record and you can drink all this box wine? So let's see. I started before this started, so
I get like plums, and I get like cherries. I get fake cherries though. To me, kind of.
Okay, so here's a little me being a fraud. So when I learned how to taste wine, I was in culinary school years and years ago. I learned how to actually taste wine, and all the fancy things people would say. I never was able to get it quite right. And the one thing that I would always say though is that that works no matter who you're in front of, is you can be like, it's really jammy. It's really jammy. And I'm telling you,
preserves.
You can say that for anything and people will nod with you. They'll be like, yeah, it's jammy, very concentrated fruit. And I'm like, yes,
I watched the documentary Somm, like Into the Somm and stuff, like people that are pursuing the master sommelier.
Oh yeah.
And
I thought you meant Psalm like in prayer. I was like, oh.
No. Yeah, all right. The Ministry album, Psalm 69. It was amazing. But like, as they taste, you start not buying into their shenanigans. Like, this is an old wine. This is a wine from this vineyard. This is this wine from the.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Some
you're
people
full of
get it
crap.
right though. Some people do get it right.
They blow it out of the park, for God's sakes. I'm
Yeah.
lucky if I can tell what I had for dinner based on the fart the next morning. These guys are just telling me what vintage a wine was coming. They're like, oh, this is a 1927. Pascal made this.
So let me see what I get from this.
I honestly I get fake fruit. I get that it's
get
trying to be fruity.
I get jam. Maybe I just put it in my head. It tastes it's fucking jammy. I don't know.
As long
It's
as
like
it's not
strawberry jam. It's like strawberry jam, but it's not too
fair.
It's not too sweet. I would
No.
I've been drinking this for half an hour. Let me be frank. So I would. Here's the thing that's interesting about boxed wine. All right, so how many bottles is in a box? Do you know?
3.
Okay, so that's fair because it was 20 bucks for each in Michigan. Each black box is $20. So if that's 3 bottles, okay. I would buy this and I would drink it. I'm trying to think I might rather buy like 3 $10 bottles.
Fair.
And try different things. But why the fuck do you drink boxed wine all the time? What do you like about boxed wine so much?
I'll be honest. One of the things I love most about box wine is that people react about box wine.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't think box wine is bad. I really don't.
No, it's not. This is not bad in any way, shape, or form.
And I think it has its place. And for me, I'm a daily drinker, and that's not to say that I'd get drunk every day, but I do have a glass of wine every day.
Yeah.
And after a while, of going, oh, this looks great, and it's like $17 and like $14. It adds up, and my brain is very frugal. So, I'm in New Hampshire, so the state controls all the liquor and all the pricing, which is great. So we don't get gouged. You can have great sales.
Yeah.
So a box of wine for me out here is like in between $14 and $17.
That's not bad.
So I'm like, well, $14. I could go get $2 chuck. Which is good.
I like $2 chuck. Everyone likes it. If you don't like $2 chuck, you're an elitist asshole. Let's just put it that way.
Bryson hates it.
I heard he doesn't even drink wine with a screw top. Oh my God.
No. Like, does Monsieur want to sniff the bottle cap? He's so bougie. Love that guy. But no, it's good. It's reasonable. If I'm having a steak and it's a special occasion, I'm gonna go get a decent bottle. But I'm not going to spend a ton of money on wine.
I think this has its place, and particularly if you're entertaining, I think it'd be like buy the fucking box wine if you're entertaining. Particularly like my Aunt Jan drinks wine with ice cubes, which I think there's nothing wrong with. I think you can drink whatever you want as long as it makes you happy.
Amen.
But like Aunt Jan does not need a $50 bottle of wine. Aunt Jan can have the black box and put her ice cubes in it, and that's okay. So
I know a few people that can guess that it's box wine. But I only know a few people that could guess it's box wine. Like if you decant this and you tell them it's something different, most people are going to just be like, "Hey, I appreciate the wine." They're not going to go, "These tannins really feel like they're coming from a different area."
I love tannins. Tannins are that's my favorite thing about wine is I like enough tannins. This is what I've said since I was 21. Well, I've been drinking wine since before I was 21. I like so much tannin that it makes my mouth its bitch. Like I want to. Oh my God! I want to. Sorry, the spam. Woo! But I want to be like drinking wine and be like, oh, so what do you, should I break out the spreadable meat now? I have spreadable meat.
The flavor of this in my mouth is wonderful, but I think it could be accented by some delicious protein.
I'm going to start with my wonderful cheese here. What ended up happening here is I said anyone who donates $25 can pick whatever the fuck they want to feed me within reason, like as long as I can buy it. Sure. And the only person who picked something actually picked a gourmet cheese I really like. I'm like, this is spectacular. And then when I went down to go buy the cheese, it's like I told you this, when I get in a nice cheese store, it's like, don't threaten me with a good time. I bought so much cheese that they gave me a bunch of free shit. Like that's when you know it's bad. And then they rang me up and they're like, you're actually eligible for more things that are free. I'm like, fuck, like they hadn't even but this is the first one I have is called Lip Tower cheese, which is you can't see it.
Sacrament.
No, this is Hungarian, so you get I don't know how you'd say it.
Borscht.
Okay. The Hungarian accent's very rough. Okay. This is a traditional spicy Hungarian cheese spread, but you have something wonderful. Are you just eating the spam as is?
Yeah. I'm going to cut it.
No, it's not a savage here. Not a
not a
fucking savage.
not a fucking animal. I did bring a cutting utensil too that was appropriate for this type of show.
Lovely.
And cheese, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to cheese. I don't mind spending a couple bucks. I think if I'm going to put it in my body, especially from a cheese perspective, it has to be high end. So
Really?
I've yeah, so I've gone with the easy cheese cheddar.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
I think I like the container. It aerates it, doesn't it? I think that's the whole thing.
Yeah, by nature. In it wasn't on sale, but I'm worth it. So, and if I could tell you an honest to God truth,
Yeah.
this stuff is not legal where I was born.
In Canada?
Hmm. You cannot get it. It cannot be imported.
It's a carcinogen, or what's the
Yeah,
what is?
it's
Oh,
like
this is really
gross.
good.
It's like I don't even know how to use this. Do I have to shake it? You
Read
know
the
it's good.
directions.
You know it's good cheese when it says no need to refrigerate.
Even after opening?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I know, like, if there's a zombie apocalypse, that's what we'll be
Oh
eating if
Jesus.
there's no refrigeration. Well, you
This thing.
just squirt it into your mouth. What are you doing? That doesn't go on a cracker.
X Slaughter is telling me squeeze cheese. You're right. Oh, it's good.
Is it? My cheese is actually really good. This is the one that's from Zingerman's. I
Okay.
have no. It doesn't even tell me what's in this. What is in this? Oh my god! It just dripped. Sorry.
Gotta be
Oh
careful.
my god. Sorry. I can't read the ingredients, and like it's cow's milk. That's all I got to was cow's milk and something spicy. It looks like jalapenos or something.
Ben says the chewing noises are too much in his headphones.
Oh, I'm
Nightmare
sorry.
ASMR. No, it's me.
Sorry.
It's not you at all.
Oh,
Because
it probably
my
is me a little
headphone.
bit.
Ben, this is for you. I just want to go outside and make sure that I'm going to break the law. I want to taste this.
I have makeup brushes. I mean, why don't we be the first box wine tasting AMSR YouTube show ever in the entire world?
I support this. I could crunch some pickles. Oh.
Do a pickle. Do a pickle sound.
All right, let's do a pickle sound. It's a good thing I'm so massively
That was a good
strong
sound,
that
actually. Was the
Hold on. Ben, take your pants off.
that actually sounded really refreshing.
It's tasty too.
I'm gonna eat some smoked blue cheese. Let's see.
So how many cigarettes does cheese have to smoke to be smoked? I never knew this.
Whole pack, I think, maybe. I think you
Cheese.
smoke the cigarettes next to the cheese or the meat, and that's what makes it smoky, actually.
It's just like
you
a
cook
bougie,
some.
a bougie French person sitting in like a this is bullshit. Doesn't pay
That's
me
what
enough
makes
for
it
this.
salty and smoky. That's what gives it both. This is one of the best cheeses I had, and I was sitting in the store.
Kidding.
This is a smoked blue from Zingerman's.
Okay.
Highly recommend. It's like a unique cheese, and it's like super salty and creamy, and it makes me so happy. Oh, I love it.
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to set up. My wife always sets these things up for me. She's like, you have to try a taste of this, because she's very fancy. So I'm going to take a cracker.
Wait, she sets up a taste for you like you're a fucking child? Like, here, baby, have just have a sip.
That's how we do. So it's just so scary how it comes out so simple. Goodness. So this is Ritz. Well, it's not even Ritz. It's no-name cracker with Spam and cheddar. And I'm not going to ASMR this because Ben will troll me. Ben's a good guy. He looks all wimpy and stuff, but he's literally a killer. Like he's like John Wick.
Oh. What an interesting premise for a movie is that he just kills everyone who eats really loudly or like crunches real loud. That's an interesting premise for a movie, I think.
He's terrible.
How does it taste?
To be completely honest, if you were to come in from you were out shopping and stuff, or you were out for the day, and you didn't get really a good chance to eat, and you just wanted to eat something that tasted really good that wasn't necessarily good for you, that's what you eat. It's not bad.
So it actually is filling.
Yeah. Raw Spam. I didn't even cook the Spam. I just banged it out of the tin.
So my brother has a snack for me. Eric, will you get my snack from the fridge?
Yeah.
So we were going to a wedding a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And I was getting over here getting ready with his wife, and I was really hungry, and I was like, Eric, mind you, my brother's full vegan. I'm like, Eric, I need you to bring me like a snack. I don't care what it is. I don't even eat fast food. I'm like, I don't care if you go to McDonald's and get me a fucking hamburger. Just bring me something I can eat before this wedding.
Wait.
And he's like, sure. And he shows up at the house and he has this. He's fishing it out of his fridge right now. And the thing I said about this when he brought it is I was like, at least it's going to be filling. It was fucking disgusting. But I'm like, at least it's going to be filling. It's this famous NFL commentator. It's his favorite snack. Thank you. Which is nacho cheese from Chi-Chi's and beef sticks. And what he does is he actually what's the man's name, Eric?
You want me to just come on and?
Yes,
Well,
they can hear you. I won't. They
Okay.
won't. I won't. You can talk.
So
into
his
the camera.
name's John Jansen.
Okay.
He was on the UFM National Football Championship team in '97. He went on to play for the Redskins for several years, and then he came back here to do radio in Detroit on 97. Won the ticket, and he now is the voice of Michigan radio. He does all of Michigan radio. He calls the games, and then but he was on radio saying his favorite meal to eat, snack to eat in the car is beef sticks and nacho cheese.
In the car.
And then everybody was commenting on how horrible the farts must be in the car.
Yeah.
So.
Right?
And he goes to road trips and he puts the cheese in the fucking the cup holder and they eat their beef sticks. So I'm gonna try one of these actually.
Cole Gibson wants me to say that, wants me to tell Eric, or wants you to tell Eric that Lamar is a fraud.
Oh, Cole has passed along a message that Lamar is a fraud. I just double dipped in this cheese on YouTube.
Well, it's not his cheese. It's nacho cheese.
I get they're vegan, so it really isn't. It's mine. So
Is there milk in Chi-Chi's cheese?
let's see.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was, but I'd kind of be surprised if there was.
Number 1 ingredient, water. Number 2, Monterey Jack cheese. The thing about this is that it was so sad. I'm only gonna have one. Is it's not even that tasty.
No.
And it wasn't filling. So I told him this before the wedding. I'm like, at least this will be fucking filling. That will hold me off for a couple hours until we eat. And then like an hour in the wedding, I was real hungry. And I was farting. Sorry. But so don't eat this as a snack.
You do you. Better out than in. Oh, and Bree says that Eric has a mustache of power.
He does. Eric, someone said you have a mustache of power. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm just repeating things to my brother in the other room. So,
Well, we got to bring Eric on in a bit anyways. He has to tell a story.
yes, he does. A wonderful story about college. If you ever wondered what it's like, if you're not from the United States, what it's like to be in college in America, this is basically like the epitome. This story is kind of the epitome of college in America. Yeah. So, I don't mind this at all. I like this wine.
It's good. It's good. I mean, and you're never going to convince a sommelier to come over and be fancy schmancy bootsy, but it's good.
I have heard multiple people say that if you're a real sommelier, if you actually will drink anything and taste anything and actually like take it seriously. So that's how I feel about it, and I think that's fine. I'm gonna try the Detroit Street Brick now. This is what Ellen Liska recommended. Who, 1, thank you for donating if you're watching. 2, he's gonna be on the show in November, which I'm super excited about.
Very cool.
And then everyone at my work thought there was something suspicious going on because I kept talking about having to buy cheese all week. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get that cheese, all that kind of stuff. And the cheese name is Detroit Street Brick. And it just sounded like they're like, wait, you're buying a cheese named Detroit Street Brick? I'm like, yes, it's an actual cheese, as you see here. It's delicious.
No. I've always said the same thing about, I love scotch and I love bourbon. And I love the ritual behind pouring scotch and opening it. And I love the stories behind it, rah, rah, rah. But I drink scotch with ice. I don't drink scotch neat at all. And I don't have a problem popping an ice cube into my scotch after I pour it. And the purists are like, oh my God, you're going to burn it or you're going to bruise it. Oh, it's so terrible. But, the same types of folks will say, it's like food. Food and alcohol are experience. It's an experiential kind of thing. Trashy wine can be a good experience if you're hanging around a campfire, slapping a bag. You're always going to remember that because every person I say that we're doing, or that we're doing a a box wine thing, everybody tells me about slap the bag, and I always play. I'm
Yes.
like, what does that mean? And I know full well what it means, but everybody tells like the greatest story about slapping a hunk of plastic.
I have slapped the bag, but then hold on, Eric is going to tell the story. Eric actually is going to one up slap the bag, where he did something in college which was called Tour de Francia.
This is an awesome story.
This is Eric coming back into Eric with his mustache of power.
I'm going to open the Cab Sauvignon.
All right, so
oh yes, please. Once Eric is done with his story, I'll try the Cab Sauvignon first.
Tour de Franzia. In college, I went to college in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. You have the Minton there, but the Upper Peninsula is up here, and it's on the shore of Lake Superior. And so we would have teams of 4. There would be like about 5 teams of 4, and we had 3 different houses, and we would have to finish a whole box of wine at each house
of
Franzia, and bike to each house. And the first team to finish all the boxes wins.
And successfully bike.
And successfully bike. Yeah, there was definitely people that would fall a lot between the second and third house. So
that
is Tour de Francia.
I used to think I was pretty hardcore. I'm not hardcore.
I think that's, maybe I love my brother too much, where I'm like, that shows such creativity. He did.
Honestly, Tour de Franzia. Next time I have folks over and I serve box wine, I'm going to call it Tour de Franzia. And I'm going to put it all around the house.
All right, I got to do the Cab next, which I'm excited for. So let me down the hatch.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with chugging. And don't chug.
I'm not going to try. I'm going to open the throat. So
we need to keep you sitting in the chair for another 40 minutes.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it's 7:00. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to get decently tipsy and be in bed by like 10. So that's probably what's going to happen. I'm in my 30s. This is what you're in your 40s. You understand what it's like. You start earlier and you end earlier, and then you're at work the next morning and you're fine.
So I get, I didn't, I drink, like I drink every day. Sorry. But I don't get tipsy or like anything like that every day, but I do have a sip of alcohol every day. But on days where I've accidentally become tipsy, like last night, I did Unicorn with Andrew and Leslie Mills. It was wonderful. And before the episode was even over, I had drank a bottle of wine. So by the time I got downstairs and start eating in a big like heavy pasta dish, literally 10 after 9, I was.
Well, and you have a kid. I mean, so that's the other part.
And he's bananas.
Rich aromas of dark fruit, complemented by a deep, lush body. The finish is soft and long, with lingering notes of berry.
If I'm gonna appreciate a finish of soft and long, it better get hard and long quick. Sorry, that's terrible.
There's so many jokes to be made, and the whole thing is because I have soft spreadable salami, so there's so many jokes. There's many jokes left to come. So, oh God, we could even do one more.
So this is fruit.
So I will say this. All right, so this is from. Okay, I don't want to become Bryson. I was going to say Chile, and I don't want to be Bryson Ford.
All
right, so the Merlot is from California. This is from Chile, Chile. I don't know. Should I get full Midwestern on that? Like Chile.
I would do Chile.
So this is interesting, and for anyone who is in cybersecurity, Rapid 7's doing a weird promotion where they'll send you 3 bottles of wine to sit through an hour presentation. And they sent them recently from Bolivia, and then the ones this time are from California. And so if you are on that mailing list, we say everyone on our team says take advantage of it because it's quite fun actually, and the wine's pretty good. So shout out to Bree who told me about this.
Amen.
All right, the Cab.
So what do you smell? It's weak.
It's real fucking weak.
The Merlot is way punchier.
Like my nose, like. I don't know. Can you hear me with the AMSR, man? Can you hear me smelling it? Because I have to get like yoga breathe it to.
Can we get Ben to kick in here? Is the ASMR okay for the sniffing? Hang on, buddy.
All right, hold on. Oh, it's Darth Vader. Can you hear Darth?
It's pretty. Luke, I am your father. It's like death metal Luke, sorry.
This tastes weaker too. This tastes like church. So I'm from the Midwest. Everyone in like the Michigan, Illinois, Pittsburgh area, we're all like born Catholic, even if you're not Catholic. This to me tastes like church wine. It's like, but
sticks on my tongue.
It's not even tannin because tannin's got the like the back,
No,
and
this
this
right
is
in the front. You ever taste dark molasses and like a half hour after you had dark molasses, you can still kind of taste it? X Slaughter wants to know about the legs. So honestly, if I twirl this on my red Solo goblet,
there's no legs.
it's actually leggy on plastic.
Here, hold on.
Let's see if I can do this appropriately.
No, there. I don't think there's any legs. That gave it like I'm getting undertones of grass. Don't fucking shoot me, YouTube.
Oh, that's smart. I like that. Earthiness, kind of freshness.
It still tastes like nothing.
It's nicer on the nose than it is in the mouth. That's what she said.
Oh, that's you and your wife have interesting Saturday nights. So that's so. I'm sorry, that was just like.
That's awesome.
This would be. This is the occasion for this wine. You are having people over who you don't necessarily care about,
Fair.
who like to drink wine but don't like wine.
Fair.
This is what that is for.
I'm gonna have a piece of apricot.
Oh, I love apricot. Okay, I'm gonna have a more Detroit brick because I do like it. And then I think in a couple minutes, I'm gonna open up the spicy spreadable salami. So I was in the store,
okay,
and I'm gonna take the price tag off it because I paid too much for this. But
you gotta throw that on the. It's like wearing a Louis Vuitton bag. People
whatever. I spent fucking $13 on this spicy spreadable salami. It called to me, and so I have a friend who used to say this. Sometimes I love it to say this when I travel. I'm like, oh, something called to me. Like sometimes you just want to go into a store, go into a restaurant or a bar. You're like, oh, that just looks fucking cool. And I was in the cheese store, and this spicy salami was like, blowing me. And so I had to.
What did it say?
I can't. It's from the gut. It's guttural. I can't repeat it.
It was like heavy metal spreadable sausage. That was glorious.
Yeah. So, Kelly, will you grab me a pair of scissors for my sausage? Or my Induja spicy spreadable salami.
I don't own a pair of meat scissors, but I guess now.
Oh no, that's okay. They're vegan, and so I'm contaminating their scissors. Oh, welcome to the world we live in. Welcome to our life. There's no added hormones in pork, so they didn't put any testosterone or estrogen in my fucking salami.
Can't go wrong with that.
What if I like the testosterone? What if it gives it extra flavor?
I've always said testosterone is an important ingredient.
I like MSG a lot. I love MSG. So I used to live in Vietnam for a short period of time. And when I lived in Vietnam, they put a lot of MSG in things, and I really, really liked it. And I like, so they'll mix it in, but then you'll sprinkle it on top sometimes. And I'll take it like, oh my gosh, this is
it's like a meaty zit.
All right. How did you start eating Spam when you're from Canada? I'm serious. Like that.
No, that's a good question.
If they don't let you eat fucking processed cheese, they shouldn't be letting you. I don't know. Is Spam bad for you? I don't know. I don't know these things.
I think it's probably bad. I've always had it when I was a kid, but like they market it back home as like corned beef. It was like canned corned beef. How is it? You look happy.
I'm trying not to chew too loud for Ben because I know people who are audio sensitive,
Fair.
And it's really hard for them when you have really like weird sounds. It's very spicy and delicious. It's super spicy. I love it.
Is it? Tony, I think is a little bit late. He says, which tempesta is that? Nostromo.
Tempesta. Oh, let me see. This is artisan salumi Induja spicy spreadable salami made with Berkshire pork. Gluten-free, no antibiotics, all natural. This is pork and spices. That's what the fuck is in here. So
you can't go wrong with ingredients that are just pork and fucking spices. I think that's glorious.
This is delicious. I would 100% buy this. Yes, this is really, really good. This is worth $13.
For real.
But then it's sad because then we have this watery wine.
So a couple seconds ago, I took a cracker and I put half American cheese because I'm a patriot, and half cheddar. So I kind of feel a little hackerish, but honestly, I think that's the way to go.
Is it called American cheese in Canada?
No,
What's it called?
cheese. We just call it singles.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first moved to the U.S., I was talking to my wife, and I had to go shopping, and I'm like, oh, I need to get cheese. She's like, get American cheese. And I'm like, I don't want orange because back home, like processed cheese or like American cheese is orange. It's all
Yeah.
dyed orange. You can't get it white. And she's like, get the white stuff. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. So I go to the grocery store, and I ended up getting a white American cheese. It was so good. It was ridiculous. I felt horrible because I'm like, I wish I would have had this my entire life because it's fantastic.
So did you feel like you were betraying Canada? Like you were like, America's better in this instance, and I feel
I-
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know the Canadian national anthem. I had to learn it for school because I'm in
Cool.
Michigan.
Did you have to learn in English and French or just English?
No, just English. What am I doing? I'm like squeezing tubed meat onto a cracker. It's delicious though.
There's very few people in the world that could say that.
But they're squeezing tube meat onto a cracker, or that they know the Canadian.
My sister's actually in there, Trudy, and she's saying processed cheese food. Now, my sister used to macaroni and cheese in the box here.
That's my favorite comfort food.
What do you call it?
So, like, you know how sometimes people will just call all like pop Coke or something.
Sure. Yeah.
I call all box mac and cheese like Kraft. Like if I were to explain to someone like get me mac and cheese like from the store or from in a box, I would always call it Kraft.
Yeah.
It's
KD.
just one of those things. It's like how people say Google is searching. You know.
Fair. Yeah. We always call it craft dinner. KD.
Kraft dinner.
So back home, all the boxes are craft dinner. So if you want a box of noodles with like powdered cheese, it's KD.
But so okay, because I am bougie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like I'm definitely fucking bougie, and I have been very. I've had I call it my bohemian times. Sometimes I'm extremely bohemian,
Love it.
but then sometimes I'm a fucking bougie asshole. So I like to do my Kraft mac and cheese with heavy cream. And I love it with heavy cream, and it will change your life once you start doing it with heavy cream. And then I add like better cheese to it, and that makes me just so happy. It makes me so happy to eat any kind of Kraft mac and cheese, and it's my comfort food. I don't care. And the thing is, I was talking to my friend who was younger. You get to a certain point that's like you can't eat Kraft mac and cheese every day. You know what I mean? Like if I ate Kraft mac and cheese every day, I'd be as big as a fucking house.
Oh yeah.
But so like there's now something that's really, and I love food so much. When I have Kraft mac and cheese, it's not just a comfort food, but it's like indulgent. It's like super, super indulgent. And like there's nothing better to me with food than when you're really, really indulging and you're like, this is something that's like gluttonous and delicious, and I just want to fucking eat it. And like that's maybe how you are with Spam. I don't know, you know, like
It's just good. Speaking of Spam,
are there ingredients in Spam or does it just say ham? What like is it a mix? Is
That's a
it
good question.
what is it?
this is 25% less sodium because I'm diet conscious.
You got the diet Spam?
Shut up, I work out.
So, okay, if anyone hasn't seen it, there's a thing on YouTube of Mike, which where was I? I was in Chicago for my fantasy football draft, so I was very intoxicated when this was put online.
Okay.
And my fucking mentions blew up. I'm like, what is this nonsense? What the hell is this? And it's you with the Spam, and he's in
Blowing on it?
he's below. No, but I thought you were sucking the liquid out. And I was like, so I thought you were blowing, but then sucking the liquid out, and then it was like a respiration of spam
Fair.
almost.
Yeah, that one went crazy.
That's what it seemed like to me.
So truth behind that, to be quite honest, is whenever I open like a tin of this, I punch 2 holes in it.
It really is low sodium.
Yeah. I don't want to lose weight. Trudy says spam juice. Shut your face. Spam juice is delicious. How dare you? So I always punch 2 holes and then I just blow on it and I let it drop onto a plate just to relieve that suction, right? So I was kind of like nervous. So my wife my wife was filming me, and I'm
You had
like,
performance anxiety?
yeah. So I punched one hole in it. I didn't even go through. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So when I'm like,
That's what happens when you get really excited. It just, I mean, that's what goes on.
it was the worst ever. But I didn't want to open another tin. And my wife was like, "That's the best you could possibly do." She's like, for that kind of like expectation that a lot of folks have, that like bumbling, rah rah rah, that's perfect. But literally, that was me bumbling through it.
I think
Mm.
you have met your soulmate.
Oh
So
yeah.
one, I would film someone if they asked me to film them doing that. I would for sure.
Mm.
But I enjoy that your wife directed this whole thing and was like, "This is what you have to do." Oh, are you there? Oh no. Shit. I think Mike just dropped.
Sorry about that.
Ah, no, you're back. Okay.
I went to touch my mouse, and it has like the hotkey on it where you could like hit backspace.
I would feel really bad for anyone who would have to listen to me ramble. Like if you're the one time when you're fucking like
Hello, madam.
your electric went out. Oh my! If people had to listen to me ramble for like.
That was the worst.
Well,
That
that's
was
the
the worst.
Everyone knows that's the worst, anyways. When you're because then you have that like weird couple seconds where you're like oh shit, is it me? Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know, and then you have to then you're like maybe I'll just restart it. It's fine, but if your electric's out, you're screwed.
I was so powerless. So powerless. So I was attacking my electric company on Twitter too, because like the phone worked, but I couldn't broadcast, right? So I'd said to them like, oh, the power's out, I can't make, or like I was in the middle of cooking, and they're like, oh, what were you cooking? What are you cooking for dinner? A lot of our linemen like to eat. I'm like, you know what I'm cooking? Air,
Fuck you.
motherfucker.
I
Because
said
the
fuck
fucking
you.
electricity, because the electricity's off. They're like, oh, we're so sorry, that tweet was insensitive. I'm like, well, you're fine, but yeah, that was kind of a jerk thing to say, but it was hilarious for them. God bless them. I would have said the same thing.
I think when companies try to get cheeky on social media, it's like you better have someone who is very on top of their shit doing that for you, because that can go real wrong real fast.
Not everybody's Wendy's, where they can just troll everybody and do really good at it. You get somebody that with no experience, like, well, you're a poo head. Like,
So Eric asked this, by the way, why did you choose, as the box wine connoisseur, why did you choose all black box?
Because
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a good question, honestly. I think Bree actually put up a box of some fancy stuff. Bree, if you're in the chat,
Bree has good taste. Bree has
Yeah.
very good taste.
she's solid.
Yeah.
She had one box, like an orange box. I don't know exactly what it was, but it looked fancy.
Bree has good taste, and like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I really want to try this, and she's like, oh, I've had that before. It's like, and then she'll like and she cooks really well. Bree's gonna be a guest in May, which I'm excited about.
Sweet.
So
I'm gonna attack her on Twitter then.
Bree will come for you. This is going to be double spicy. This has like a little of the spreadable salami on it, and this wonderful spreadable cheese. It
Fair.
just makes. Wait, did you just?
We're moving on to white soon. I don't want to keep dirtying my glass with.
I have a special glass for white. I'm very excited.
You drank it straight from the box?
Yeah, I know.
I got to try to compete with the Tour de Franzia.
Okay, so cliff notes so far.
Okay.
Merlot, would buy again. Would recommend others buy.
Yeah, the Merlot's heavy. It's good.
Particularly for $20. For 3 bottles for $20, I'd recommend people buy that. Cabernet.
Yeah.
There's better choices. Leave it alone. Leave it on the shelf. Now we're gonna try the Chardonnay next, and here's the thing: is I do not like Chardonnay. Like I like some. Oh God, I am fucking bougie. I like unoaked Chardonnay. I sometimes like a Chardonnay that's like with less oak. And yeah, so we'll see.
So you
we'll see
like
how this
real
is.
oak though, because like a lot of the Chardonnay folks, they'll do like fake oak flavoring. They'll put like chemicals in it. Rah rah rah.
I like Chardonnay that's in. I think it's like when it's unoaked, it's done in stainless steel. That's technically what I like.
Yeah.
But let's just be frank here. I mean, we're getting at that. It's 7:39. I've now been drinking for an hour. After I've been drinking for an hour, I'll just fucking drink anything. So let's be frank about it. It's okay.
Okay.
So I'm not that snobby,
I am. You gotta like what you like.
I mean, you did opt for the 25% less sodium ham. So, what is it? What is on the ingredients of the spam?
So I got your monologue in there. Ingredients: pork with ham. Isn't pork by nature ham? Isn't that the point? Pork it.
Oh,
Mechanic.
What?
See, this is gonna actually make me turn vegan. To be honest,
Okay.
reading this shit.
so here's what's kind of fucked up, and this is where it would be interesting if anyone else is a rabbit hole person. I'm a huge rabbit hole person, but I don't necessarily want to go down this one because it'd be scary.
Fair.
It's like labeling laws are really, really interesting about what you do have to declare and don't have to declare. And like multiple other countries besides the United States have much better labeling laws about like, you actually got to tell them what the fuck is in there. So there's probably some weird law where they're like, this is pork and this is ham. And I bet you like sometimes it deals with like content where like it can't
Fair.
be more than a certain percentage of like it has to be a certain percent of meat to be, oh God, what are you eating? It's got to be a certain percent of meat to be pork or this. So there's probably a different, that's what, if I had to get, this is my analysis. If there's probably a different legal definition between pork and ham by by the United States.
I don't want to think about it. I just want to, you're probably really right.
And then I'm at my brother and sister's house who are full vegan, and they're just probably sitting here like laughing at us, like, this is why we're vegan. So, yes.
I'm not saying they're making the wrong decision by any stretch. God bless them.
Are we going to do the, are you almost ready for the Chardonnay? I'm kind of ready for the Chardonnay.
I have to finish these ingredients. I have to.
What else do you have? Oh, what
no,
else is,
It's not over.
oh no.
Shut up. Separated chicken.
What the fuck?
No, this is fine. This is chickens that are just going through a divorce. They're just on a journey. They're not necessarily splitting up, keeping it together for the eggs. They're just separated.
I'm looking up, by the way, while you're doing this, because we are in an advanced society, difference between pork and ham. Continue going, but
Okay.
we're going to Joe Rogan this. I'll be the person in the booth. You know what I mean? So like,
Fair.
continue though.
Modified potato starch, which I kind of get.
It's a
I don't-
thickener, yeah.
As it. Oh, my sister is saying ham is cured. Pork may not be. Sugar, sodium phosphates, which are literally some of my favorite things. Potassium chloride. Isn't that like a poison that they kill inmates with? Or is that, no, that's sodium chloride.
There's so many different things now in cooking that are done for like thickening agents and stuff like that and freshening agents. So I don't necessarily think it's that.
And the last thing is sodium nitrite. So that's where the nitrates come. Those ones make your face look fat. Because technically I'm 110 pounds. So this spam just makes me look big.
I think that you are, I mean, you've designed your house as like an optical illusion, right? I thought that was the whole thing because you're nervous about being so thin. That's
Very
what I thought
nervous.
happened.
Yeah.
I'm a bad Googler. I'm not gonna be able to tell us, but there is, again, it's something about ham is the hind leg, and then I can't get the rest of it. Something about ham being the hind leg and then pork being something else according to the USDA. So
Keenan says that the main difference between ham and
give it
pork
to us.
comes from the fact that all ham is pork, but not all pork is ham.
That's fair. It's like a bourbon whiskey thing.
That's
Fair.
that's trippy. I need a cracker.
Oh, will you pour me a glass of Chardonnay in the fancy glass?
Sure.
We have to switch up. I can't use the Vidal stemware anymore.
No.
I have a better piece of stemware that I'm using for the Chardonnay.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm just eating blue cheese with my hands. Oh, hi.
I'm doing a half and half spray cheese here.
How are the gherkins, by the way?
So good, actually. Ridiculously good.
I like any kind of pickle.
I'm actually going to take...
Wait, new glass or?
Oh, it's over there, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
The Maddie Maroon glass.
This cracker is half and half spray cheese, American on
good.
one side, cheddar, and a gherkin.
That looks good. Look how fancy that looks.
Right? And it's all ribbony from the way that it comes out.
You could make a platter of those. Your wife is going to make you make a platter of those at Christmas, as you should.
I'm gonna.
Or the full glass.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, let me finish. Thank you, Eric. All right. We have to change the stemware, obviously. Hello.
That's a beautiful glass.
To my wizard glass, yes. All right, so
All right,
my
let
mom
me
and I during, I'll say this while you're opening up.
Okay.
during COVID.
Yep.
There's a man named Matty Maroon in Michigan. If anyone's ever heard of him, he's like the archetype, like Simpsons version of Mr. What's his name? Mr. Oh my God, what's his name? Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns.
Okay.
Matty Maroon is Mr. Burns.
Cool.
He was the only individual who owned a bridge from one country to the other. He owned the bridge from the United States to Canada.
No shit.
And
Wow.
he let it go to fucking shit. He won't do anything unless everyone hated Matty Maroon. He died. And my mom finds out that Matty Maroon is having an estate sale.
Oh, no.
And she tells me that she's like, I'm like, she here's about it on Facebook. I'm like, yeah. And it's like towards like the end of, not the end of COVID, but like
Sure, close enough.
like probably like 8, 9 months, 10 months into COVID, where like things aren't, no, like a year into COVID, where things aren't like terrible, but like,
Sure.
so we put on our masks and our, and go out to go to Matty Maroon's estate sale, which is in the middle of like this terrible neighborhood. And these people have all this stuff outside. They're like, yeah, Matty Maroon, like he couldn't have an estate sale because he was, it's COVID. So we cleaned out his house and we just took all the stuff as payment. And my mom and I don't know what it was. I don't know why. I'm a smart woman. I am a very intelligent woman.
Yeah.
Believed this for like 5 weeks, and we bought these fucking glasses for like $5. And we were like, these are the best glasses ever. And we were like, these are billionaire glasses. If you were a billionaire who owned a bridge from Canada to the United States, this is the glass yeah. So this is the glass I'm drinking out my Chardonnay out of.
Well, I'm blending here.
Are you making a rosé?
Well, it's empty.
Ah. Oh, we didn't read. Will you read the description?
All right. You have to lick the spigot. You have to lick the spigot. So this is rich and beautifully balanced with fresh fruit aromas, excellent depth and structure with subtle hints of oak. A focused and complex finish.
There is no nose. Maybe it's because I'm drinking out of my wizard glasses, but there's no nose.
I think
it smells like nothing.
Fair. I mentioned this to my cousin Kevin, who's in his own right a sommelier, and he says, "What exactly is focused and complex?" I'm like, "Well, it's like right and wrong. It's like strong yet weak. It's both." Prune, apricot, maybe.
I think you could take I think you could actually take I would be so curious if you took the marketing for wine boxes like this, focused and complex X and X, and used it for dating profiles. No, I'm serious. Would you?
That's badass.
You would get some people. You would 100% get some people.
Yeah.
Probably the wrong kind of people, but you get some people.
You get like the what do they call those things? Not Pinot all day. What's that wine that rhymes with all day?
Rosé
Yes,
all day.
Rosé all day.
But no, I don't even mean that. I mean, like if you actually just like verbatim cut and pasted a wine label onto your Tinder profile and just use that to describe yourself. Focused and complex. Sturdy. Oaky. Like a tree. like what, would you get someone? I think so. I think so. So
I would date somebody that's oaky. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Strong roots. Okay. Yeah.
The Chardonnay doesn't smell bad. Not at all.
It doesn't smell bad. It smells like, to me, it smells like nothing.
Yeah. It's like the color is hilarious because literally the color is like white cranberry juice. Have you seen that? It's not quite white,
yes.
not quite yellow. It's like going pee after like 2 bottles of like water.
So mine's in a pink glass, so no one can really see it. But yeah, it's very. This isn't like sometimes you like get Chardonnay. It's almost like golden. This is not that.
No,
this is not that. This isn't bad though. This isn't. I Cabernet Sauvignon. I would buy. I would buy again. This is how we're going to switch the rating system. Now we're going to switch it.
Okay.
I would only drink the Merlot. I would buy Cabernet Sauvignon. I would only drink if people were like there's a zombie apocalypse and people were hoarding other alcohol and this was the only thing left. The Chardonnay I would drink if I was at someone's house at a party and all the other booze was gone. This is what I would still drink it. I would still drink it. I don't know if I would, if I was at a party and all the other booze was gone, if I would drink the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
I think I would actually like go, I would get in an Uber and go to the store. That's what I would do.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yes.
Cool.
What is that liquor for you where you're like, I would, if you were at a party and it was the only thing left and you actually would rather pay an Uber and go to the store and purchase something else, what would that be for you?
That's a really good question. Honestly, white wine. I'm not a big white wine fan. Yeah, I'm not a white wine fan. More so because it tends to give me headaches.
Yeah.
But I think, I haven't really been too dramatic. Oh, you know what? Grappa.
I love
White
grappa.
wine, no.
I love grappa.
You and Bryson. Disgusting. He loves grappa.
Michigan has a really big Greek community, a huge Greek community. And so like I've drank a shitload of grappa. It's fun. And it makes me feel good. It's like a happy, fun liquor. It gets me peppy, like all that kind of stuff. And like there's certain kinds of liquor where I have mezcal and grappa where I'm having such a good time and I still have a lot of energy.
Fair.
Where I look at my text messages the next day where I'm like texting people at like 2:00 in the morning. Well, let's hang out. And I'm like, oh my God.
I miss you.
Yeah. And I have so much energy. And that's not usually me. Again, usually I'm going to drink this wine and go to bed at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's how I am.
Grappa to me is sadness. Like it took me a long time to be able to appreciate Scotch, because not even as you get older, it's just like, everybody's first beer, nobody enjoys their first beer. They just drink the beer because, that's what, kind of what they're expected to do.
Like what your wife does to you with the food.
Yeah. Then over a period of time, you're like, yeah, no, this beer is good because, like this wine is good because, it takes a while for your palate to be able to do it. Grappa I've never been able to enjoy grappa ever.
All right. Can you give us, because I don't think we've been silly enough yet.
Okay.
Give us I don't drink this liquor because it's made me do something stupid.
Okay.
A lot of people have one of those, and I'm sure you have. So what do you not drink anymore because of this?
So tequila.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
What happened?
Tequila has this thing that makes me want to be naked.
It's like the country song.
Yeah. So my sister's like listening. I was at a party, and it was just after Old School came out.
Yes.
The movie Old School.
Frank the Tank. Yes.
Yep. And we had this like big barbecue thing going on, and it was super fun, and it was in an area that I had just moved to, and we were drinking, and I just drank beer at that point. Like I wasn't a big drinker by any stretch. And then Marco, my neighbor across the road, he's a Peruvian guy, and he's like, well, we're gonna drink tequila. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So we started drinking tequila, and I figure out that tequila is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying myself. And then the whole thing was like, oh, have you seen this movie? Oh, he gets naked, he goes jogging. I'm like, fuck it, that's what we're doing. So Marco's like, hey man, if you get naked and start running, I'll follow you. I'm like, good to go. So I got naked and I started running.
Like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
You did a pause where he's like, I just started running.
Like, and it took maybe 10 seconds, and I realized that nobody was behind me. So I just ran around more.
Isn't that the line from the movie too, where he realized that no one's behind him? I think that's the line from the movie.
So I get back, and I didn't go too far. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't overly. It was inappropriate, but it wasn't overly inappropriate. It was overly inappropriate.
So you streak when you don't drink tequila because it makes you streak.
Yeah, it makes me want to be naked. Yeah, that's my weakness. My sister's horrified right now, but
that's not that bad. That's not that bad.
No, my sister got pregnant in my parents' hot tub, so she can have that one. Mm-hmm. My sister's a nice girl, but kind of a whore. No, I'm kidding. That's terrible. I love her. She's calling me out in chat right now. You'll see it.
I think the whole thing is that if your sister was actually a whore, that you wouldn't be calling her a whore on YouTube.
Fair.
So
no, it's entirely fair. I love my sister, but for $50, so can you.
I mean, at least it's not 25 and some crack.
No, she's worthwhile. She's worthwhile. No, that's awful. At my sister's wedding,
You know that from personal experience?
we're from Canada. That's how we roll.
I love Canada. The reason why I got into tech was because I ran out of Canada time playing poker for a living, and I was like, I want to just move to Canada. And I realized if I got any sort of tech degree,
Fair.
I could have an easier shot at getting a visa. And I fell in love with what I'm currently doing. So I love Canada. I do not think Canada is a land of hicks and people who fuck their sisters. I think it is a wonderful place where I would love to be a citizen. Hit me up, Justin Trudeau. Thank you. So, sorry, you were joking about fucking your sister?
Of course, I was joking about having sex with my
No,
sister.
no. I forget what. No, sorry, my ADD took in that. So I was like, where did we start? No, I was saying more. Where did we start with this? I can't remember.
I mean, foreplay though. No. There's never been anything incestuous with my family. On Halloween, we do not pumpkin.
I like that joke. Someone was telling me the other day that like I see this everywhere. They're like talking about how you got to make your personal brand. You have to make your personal brand, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like,
Sure.
If this is my personal brand, like,
I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did you fill up with Merlot?
Of course I fucking filled up with Merlot.
Yeah, me too.
So that's all you can really say there is that we have 3 full boxes of wine in front of us. And when we got empty, that's the one we all chose. So
it's funny too, because I looked at black box wines to see if they had a Twitter presence, and they do not. They have like Instagram and Facebook, and I thought it might be nice for them to not sponsor, not by any stretch, but at least come on and be supportive and rah rah rah.
Do you want to do till 8:10, by the way, or are you cool for doing till 8:10?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my question.
Go for it.
Across the different kind of social media stratospheres.
Yep.
Do you think that they don't want to be on Twitter just because the Twitter people are just so fucking crazy?
I think so.
Yeah, the Twitter people are.
So.
I love Twitter. I'm a Twitter person, and it's insane. We're insane.
Yeah. I think you need a very thick skin. I think to be on social media, you need a very thick skin.
Yeah.
But I think Twitter is kind of like the Wild West. It's like IRC. It's like FNet is like the Wild West because there's no bot controls, there's no Nixer, there's all these protocols, where nobody's protected. Rah, rah, rah. Twitter's very, very similar.
What different Twitter like micro communities are you in? How many different ones are you in?
So I've been on IRC now for about 27 years.
Well, not IRC, but as far as Twitter, like which different communities are you in with Twitter? Because to me, that's the whole thing about Twitter is that you can have like
true.
There's cybersecurity Twitter, there's this fucking NFT Twitter is batshit crazy.
Good friend of mine is involved in that. Orbism, beautiful human being. That's thick skin psychoticness.
I'm not anti-NFT. I'm not anti-NFT at all. But like NFT Twitter is the most insane thing I've ever seen. And so I love the Real Housewives series. I love all of the Real Housewives episodes.
Really?
Across the whole stratosphere, yes.
Cool. Awesome.
Help yourself. Hold on. Oh no. What do you need? Oh no.
If you think NFT Twitter's crazy, you should follow Detroit Lions Twitter.
Detroit Lions, everything. Everyone's just angry and drunk. It's
because they never win.
Because they never, yes, Eric, they never win. He thinks he's telling us something we don't know. He's like, oh, the Detroit Lions fans are angry. Yes, they're angry.
It's crazy.
But, yeah, but
you go put some wax in that mustache.
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing.
That's
I will
awesome.
say this, and this is why cybersecurity should be ashamed. Fucking Real Housewives Twitter is more polite and kind. Yeah, do you want to come in?
Amy's looking for some Chardonnay.
Hello.
Do you want to show your goblet, my love?
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful cup.
It's a Dixie cup.
A beautiful piece of stemware.
They probably can't hear you because of the noise canceling headphones.
No, so will you
Could
tell
you
her
hear?
that
The Dixie cup is the only appropriate.
She says the Dixie cup is the only appropriate stemware for box Chardonnay.
will you tell her that she has to force you to make the mini things for Christmas or Thanksgiving? Because I think those look good.
I'm not going to tell her that. You can no.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
So you got me monologuing. What's the alcohol that you can't drink because of a terrible experience?
Not terrible experience, but if you want to see me get like, we're talking like 0 to 100 to 0 within like an hour
Yeah.
is whiskey.
Really?
Like, I'll be like real fun, having a great time,
Mm.
like having like the best fucking time. I'm like, we're gonna go do karaoke, and then like 20 minutes later, I'm like asleep, like, just like asleep.
Okay.
And so yes, so I am a yeah. So
I've known people that showed violent tendencies with whiskey. No, no more spicy spreadable sausage.
no, I'm putting it away just for a minute.
Okay.
So well, you were a fucking. So hold on. Who did you do physical security for? Can you talk about it, or you
Yeah,
can't
I
talk about
mean,
it?
yeah, no, definitely. For a long time, very long time, I worked with Universal Concerts and House of Blues, and I did tour and venue security for a lot of bands. I did, with Marilyn Manson and Korn and Dave Matthews and yeah, lots of stuff.
So you probably saw a lot of people get really drunk and really angry.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we did a Tom Petty concert at Maple Leaf Gardens when Maple Leaf Gardens was in existence in Toronto, and the concert was great. And it's like back in those days, we would prefer to do like metal and techno because it was just drugs. It was like weed. Like you can deal with somebody on drugs and weed.
yeah,
But like country and stuff, it was all liquor, and people get brave. Like I've had 10 beers, I want to fight the biggest guy in the room. Idiocy. But we were doing Tom Petty, and I had all my guys at the front of the pit, and probably 15 people at front of stage, and the entire crowd smoking marijuana. God bless them. So there's a song, there's a point like, let's get to the point, let's roll another joint, and literally the entire arena lit up with big lighters because everybody lit up a joint. So show ends, and all my guys and myself were like in the back. We're just talking about the show, and it was a very easy show. But everybody was high as fuck. Everybody was high as fuck.
yeah.
So this is one of the only times in that part of my career where we had to order pizza, and food, to get everybody back to a level where it was appropriate to send them home.
I don't know
But
anyone who's an angry stoner. I don't know
no,
anyone who's an angry
never.
stoner.
I've never ever met a person on weed that was like, I'm going to kick your ass. They might be like, yeah, you're an asshole and you're stupid because you harshed my mellow, but then they just walk away and it's fine. But somebody on 2 ounces of tequila would be like, I'm going to fight everybody in this room, everyone. They're crazy.
I will, when I'm on 2 ounces of tequila, I will go sing karaoke,
Hmm.
like dance everywhere. I'll probably make out with some people. Like that's like, yeah. And then I'll probably tell some strangers my life story. That's probably the end of the evening, is telling strangers my life story.
I don't think
And
there's
then-
anything wrong with that.
Yes. There's I'm like, if that's the worst that happens, that's not that terrible. So
No, it's better than getting hammered and like waking up with like a black eye and going, oh my god, what's going on? But
do you wax your scalp, by the way?
wax, I would do it. I would do it for like charity. If somebody's like, we want to wax your scalp, I'd be like, okay, we'll take donations and I'll sit through the pain, because I've seen people do it and it looks awful.
Okay, so here's my question:
Go
Are
for
there any people still in the chat?
Oh yeah.
Okay, here's my question to everyone still in the chat.
Okay.
Because we have other ideas for specials and stuff like that. Let's end at 8:10, right?
Okay.
We'll end it at 8:10. Here, I want to hear anyone in the chat what your ideas are for specials that we could do or episodes you want to do. And also, so some of our ideas is Ryan tempered it down. I called it food for fucking, but
I
he
think
called
that's
it.
a great idea.
But
Yeah.
so basically, we were talking about making food for people who you love. Like, what would you actually make? Because I think that's like, well, obviously in this sense, it's food for fucking. So you're making it for someone who you love, who you want to have sex with. But like, anytime you make food for people you love, I think it's the best kind of food and it's beautiful. And so that's one of the ideas. And then we really want to do the throwdown. But we haven't gotten anyone on the hook. I think Bryson had like 2 people on the hook. We were like reeling them in, like, come on. And I don't think they committed. And we're like, I really want to do a fucking food throwdown. I think that'd be so fun.
I like it. X Slaughter says, I like it. Food for effing. Why
Yes.
not? Martina Morowski says, haha. I think that's positive.
Oh, Aunt Marty! Aunt Marty's here. Oh my god, I love Aunt Marty. Oh my god. Tell Aunt Marty, I love you so much. So we used to do pickleback shots with Aunt Marty. I get full clumped all the time. Aunt Marty's one of my favorite people. Oops, sorry.
Very good. What is a pickleback shot?
So
That sounds scary.
in the Fuga's basement, we used to do
Okay.
shots of vodka and then a shot of pickle juice afterwards with Aunt Marty.
That sounds really good, actually.
And Aunt Marty's not my aunt. Aunt Marty is just like that kind, nice soul, though. We're like, she goes, you can just call me Aunt Marty, and we're like, we will call you Aunt Marty, and she's basically like an aunt to my sister and I, and she's the most wonderful human being ever.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yes,
I want pickle juice now and vodka. That sounds terrible. I know there's a
no, one after the other. It's a shot. It's one after the other.
I think there's a drink called a dirty pickle. I work with a lady named Clarine that drinks them all the time.
What we would what?
It's a martini. It's called dirty pickle. It's like booze and pickle juice together. I make fun of her all the time.
Is this like an afternoon? What kind of drink? What's the occasion for a vodka pickle?
I think if you're putting pickle juice in something, it's an anytime drink.
Brunch drink. Could be a brunch drink for sure.
Well, if only there was a way to search the information superhighway for the ingredients of a dirty pickle. Dirty pickle. Oh, dirty pickup lines. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Dirty pickle martini. It's 2 cups. Oh, Jesus. It's a heavy drink.
2 cups.
2 cups of ice, 1.5 ounces of dill pickle juice, and 4.5 ounces of vodka. That's a heavy drink. And two pickle spears. I'm assuming that serves 2 people because that's a heck of a lot of vodka.
I mean,
serves
just put a straw in it and call it a day, but it's okay.
I mean, just call it a shot of vodka. Goodness. Yeah. So servings 2. Thank goodness.
I still what I would like to do, what I think that is one of the ultimate things, is with the fucking throwdown, is if we have like an interwork, almost like what is it? The Jets and the what is it from Guys and Dolls? The Jets and the they're snapping at each other.
Oh, the gangs?
Yes, the gangs.
I don't know. I remember the outsiders, the socias and the outside.
I would like 2 people who are fighting at work to settle it with a culinary throwdown, and we're the arbitrators. That's my dream, actually. So, so that's what I would like to happen.
That's not a bad idea, though. That's a good idea.
I will donate money to settle the arbitration of your culinary throwdown. And it's better actually if you really hate the like it'd be fun if you actually like it, the people at work and it's just like a joke. Sure. But if you actually really hate the person at work and you want to settle it by culinary throwdown, that would be even better. So
I've always said like sitting in the back and judging people in a fun, like non-hurtful way is glorious.
Yeah.
And even sometimes it just needs to be hurtful. I'm okay with it. I get beat up all the time. My sister's very mean to us.
My family's very nice. So that one of the things I like about the show is that anyone who's seen it now, so you now know my brother, everyone knows my mother. Yep. We're just making the rounds with my family is what's going on. So
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I learned a glorious thing from your brother, Tour de Franzia.
Yes. That
literally is going to be implemented into my daily life.
Did anyone in the chat have a good suggestion for a special? Because I like these specials. I think they're fun.
Yeah, throw up anything that you guys want to do. I mean, we can always find space. We can always find an area. The schedule for Unicorn Chef is really, really booked up. But there are opportunities for when somebody cancels. So if you do want to be on the show, communicate with one of us on Twitter. And we can direct you in the right direction. Or if you have an idea of something that you want to do, just pitch it.
Oh God! Hold on, my brother's coming. He's coming in the last minute. What do you have to?
I would like a review of a Weird Al album. One Weird Al album.
Ooh.
You have to listen to the whole thing all the way through and review it.
Like early Weird Al or later Weird Al?
Early. Like Eric, he said early or late.
Early.
Okay, because the late stuff is kind of weird. He got a little bit stretchy when he started spoofing lords with aluminum foil. It was kind of stretchy. White and Nerdy, though, was my anthem for a long time.
It's not anymore?
No, it still is. It is. Yeah. I listen to it a few times a week, to be truthful.
Well, so I say we end on that.
All right.
Just really quick, and then I'm going to hand it back to you.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to donate to Forgotten Harvest, again, I will personally match anything up to $500 total. Just literally either, if you know me, message me, put it on Twitter. I don't give a shit. And then on top of me actually matching it, my work matches 25% of my donation. So anything that you donate gets multiplied a huge amount, even if it's $20. So do it. If you're from my work and you're on there and you want to donate to, like, it's great. And so thank you. And this has been fun. So
I resonate the same thing. You know, go Google Forgotten Harvest.
this is the only wine that's worth drinking out of all of these, by the way. This is the only one.
To recap the wines: Merlot first, Cabernet Sauvignon second, and Chardonnay third. But all wine is good wine, and you know it's kind of predicated on the people that you're around and the experience that you have. And something with the perception of being bad can always be good. So it's better to sit down in front of a group of people that you care about and talk about things that you don't. It's always fun. So I thank you for that, because I think it was a wonderful time. People in the chat, shut your face, drink your wine. You're welcome for the ASMR. Reach out to us on Twitter, #UnicornChef across all social media. And yeah, have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.